My eyes, it's like, what's up guys, welcome back. Now, as you know in the title, we are going to be eating like Alexander the Great for 24 hours. Now, I did a lot of study to exactly what he ate for snacks, for dinner, after victory on campaign, everything guys, to a T. Now, Alexander, as you know, he is one of the greatest, if not the greatest, conquerors, generals, and commanders of all time. Now, I'm so excited to do this, guys. So, as we know, and as a Spartan say, I'm gonna put this challenge to the test. Let's go. How? Alright guys, so we're going to breakfast time for Alexander. So for breakfast, he had like flatbread, you know, goat's cheese, feta cheese, olives, and also like mint tea. So we're going to do the actual flatbread now. So I'm just going to get that started. The flatbread was really simple. It had like just like the flour, a bit of olive oil, salt, and oregano. So it was very simple. No yeast, so no yeast at all. And so remember guys, Alexander was on campaign. So things had to be quick, healthy, and efficient. You know what I mean? You can't really have a gourmet meal. And I'm sorry guys, I am a little bit sick at the moment. I'm feeling sick because it's really cold at the moment, and hopefully I don't look like shit. So yeah, a bit of oregano. Greeks love oregano. It's like everywhere. Salt, olive oil, some water. This one's a little bit different to the Spartans. It has, obviously it has oregano and olive oil. So it gives it like a slightly different taste to it. Alright guys, so we've got the flatbread ready here. So we're just going to put it in the pan here. We just put a bit of olive oil. Obviously, you know, olive oil is like super popular in Greece. It's like the most famous ingredient there in Greece. And we're just going to let those brown up a bit. Alright, I'll tell you really quick about Aristotle. And no, sorry, Alexander. So obviously Aristotle was someone that Alexander really looked up to. He was such a great philosopher. You know, if I could go back in time, you know, I would love to meet Aristotle. Like seriously, he would be like the woggiest, the biggest wog of them all. You know, he would seriously be the biggest wog, man, but he would be an incredible guy just to sit and listen to. Like, you just wonder like what he'd talk about, like the philosophy and you know, his thoughts. You know, it would just be amazing to hear what he has to say. But when Alexander was a student of Aristotle, you know, Aristotle was directing him more to the east about the Persians. Obviously, the Persians were more of a threat to Greece than the West. So the Romans weren't established back then. They weren't a threat at all to Greece. So that's why Alexander didn't go to the West to conquer Italy or Rome, because they weren't a threat. There's no threats in the time of Alexander. The threats were east, the Persians, okay? And they were a massive, big army of over 100,000 people. That is a big amount of people. So Aristotle was explaining, you know, the Persians were barbaric and the things they do to people, you know, torture was just so cruel. And Aristotle was explaining that to Alexander. And I think it stuck in Alexander's head about the East, and like he wanted to find out more about the East. He was very intrigued and interested about the East because of what Aristotle was telling Alexander about the East. So it was very fascinating, and that's why he went east. Hey guys, all right, so we're all done. So we've got the flatbread here. It's all done. It's nicely, you can see here, nice and brown. So we've got like the actual goat's cheese. So that's goat's cheese. That's a normal feta cheese, and then olives as well. That's pretty simple. This is like for breakfast for Alexander the Great. So we're just going to give these a try. So flatbread, it's not too bad. It's got a lot more taste than the Spartan bread. So we've got the Greek goat's cheese, and we're just going to put this on on the bread like that. Alexander loved goat's cheese. So goats in Greece are very big. If you go on holidays to Greece, you see herds of goats, because goats are very popular. I don't know, it's just very popular. These are from Greece, they're Kalamata olives. And lastly, the feta cheese. It's really nice. I particularly like the Greek goat cheese. It's really nice. It's very creamy. And what we'll do, we'll put it with like an olive, make a bit of a sandwich. And lastly, we also got they did like mint tea. So mint tea or thyme tea. This is a bit of mint tea. It's good because I'm feeling sick today, so my brain's not working as well. Oh, that's good. That's very good. So with Alexander, so he's grown up now. His dad, which was Philip, he was sadly assassinated by one of his most loyal bodyguards. which was very sad. And then Alex became king of Macedon. And now Alexander's now ready to go. He's in his 20s. He's young, fit, healthy. He's now got the whole Macedon army to himself. Just remember when Alexander went to fight the war, there were actually three different wars with the Persians. It wasn't just the one that ended it. So the first one, Alexander planned it with his generals, the tactics, how they're going to fight the Persians. Because just remember, guys, Alexander had an army starting off with 40,000. And the Persians had 100,000. So they were completely outnumbered. And so they had to make sure with the numbers that they had, that tactics were very important on how to try and narrow down and to beat them and to get to Darius. So Darius was the Persian king, and he owned the actual empire. And so they went out to war. As they were fighting, it was brutal. The good thing about Alexander is that he didn't just stand back and delegate. He was a real leader. Alexander went into the war with his comrades, with his soldiers, and he went on the front line. So he was playing the part of a soldier as well, which was made him such a great warrior, because a lot of leaders, they just stand back and watch and delegate. But he went in, obviously he had cuts, bruises, all that sort of stuff, and, frontline warfare. He had this tactic where they got all Persian soldiers to go to follow them on one side, and he opened up some sort of opening to Darius, the king, and where Alex wanted to trying to get to him to try and kill him, because if you kill the king, Darius, you own the whole Persian Empire. So he was trying to get to him. He managed to get an opening, and he got the spear, threw it, and accidentally and just missed. So he just missed, and then the Persians retreated. One of Alexander's generals said, you better don't chase, because you're going to lose your army. So they had to, Alexander was like, damn, I want to get his empire. He wants his whole empire. But he's like, okay, I've got to fight these guys. I can't chase him because he will lose his army. So he had to stand by and be patient until the next war. Hey guys, all right, so now we're in campaign time. So Alexander's on campaign. We need to eat something quick and healthy, right? So we're doing it's a lentil soup, very similar to the Spartans, but I think a little bit different. So we're just gonna put some olive oil in there, and we got the onions and garlic. Ooh, oh, that smells good. And because I'm very sick, with some of the tea as well. Man, this tea makes me feel so good. No wonder Alexander drank this tea. He drank mint or thyme tea. It's very hearty, because when you're going through to Asia, it gets very cold. It's freezing, so you need something. A good tea is very good. My eyes. It's like, ooh, the onions. I'm not crying. All right, guys. So now we've got the onions all sauteed. So we've got obviously the lentils. And we'll put the juice in there as well. A bit of oregano, salt, and the bay leaves. And there was a dash of vinegar as well. Not too much, just a bit of water. And we're going to let this stir for a bit. Look, guys, it doesn't look that great, but as you can see, it will come together. When Alexander was on campaign, it was very cold, a lot of snow. So they needed something like this to keep going and keep them warm, guys. Keep them warm. Hey guys, what's up? So I thought we'd go outside because I'm really sick. Get some fresh air. The beautiful sun's out. And I've got my beautiful Greek olive tree. I'm feeling a lot better being outside. So we got the actual soup. The soup's all ready. I'm not sure if I told you guys, but this is when they're on campaign. So they're on horseback, they're running, they're on the road, and they had this sort of hard bread. It's like nearly a bread, but very hard and dry. And we've got here lamb jerky. I'll let you have a look there. And this is the hard bread there. And it's got like a bit of figs in there as well, so it's very nice. I've got this at a bakery, so really good. So we'll try this hard bread. I've never tried it before. It tastes like bread, but dry bread. That's not bad. I'll see why Alexander would want this on campaign, because it's very easy to carry. You just put it in your pocket. It's just on the go. Just take it out of your pocket. Yeah. So next we've got the lamb jerky. In Greece, they love lamb. Lamb euro, it's big. This is another good thing to carry on, like in your pocket as well. It's dry, it won't go off. And you can just take it, it just lasts you for weeks and months. This is amazing. Now we're gonna try the famous lentil soup, guys. It's not too bad. Let me give it one more taste. It's got the right amount of flavor. That would be perfect when you're in the mountains. Guys, Alexander, he's on campaign, and they're going through Afghanistan, the mountains, Afghanistan, Iraq, and they're chasing the Persians, right? And so the second war, they're trying to chase them. They're fighting them again, and they're, big clashes. And this is something that when you're taking time, when you're still chasing, then you need a break. This is perfect, and it's very cold out there. It's freezing, guys. I swear Alexander would have done some Greek dancing with his soldiers, get the morale up, you know what I mean? That would have been good, it's just a bit of fun. That back then they didn't have iPhones, they didn't have iPads, so all they had was music and dancing. So, Greek dancing, they would have done a bit of that as well. So I got some limes here, and a lot of them are falling on the ground, so I thought I'd try and pick some. Oh, these are so delicious. They're so cheap, like they're all free. At the store, it's like $1.20 each. $1.20 for one, and I've got like an entire tree of it. A whole group, that's like $5 at the store. Damn, there's so many. I've got to do a lot of picking. All right, let's go. All right, so we're in snack time. So Alexander, he really liked this. So this is the food he used, between battles to give him energy. So we've got here the grapes, we've got here walnuts, figs, and we've got almonds. This is what he liked. Walnut, tastes like walnut, packed with energy, a lot of energy. Almonds as well are super healthy. They're so healthy for you. Figs, I love figs. And we got the grapes as well. Grapes are very traditional in Greece. Alexander loved grapes as well. So this plate right here is exactly what Alexander ate as a snack. Give him that energy boost between battles. So Alexander now, so he's on campaign, right? He's on horseback. They're now on the last fight against the Persians, the last one. The last fight against the Persians, which is the last war. They're fighting. It's like so brutal. And Alexander are winning, They're winning. 40,000 soldiers against 100,000 Persians. And they're winning. Darius knows they're winning. So Darius, what he does is that he flees. He flees with all his best bodyguards, and they flee. So Alexander's like, damn it, he fled, because if Alexander killed Darius, then he will gain the whole empire, because Darius will be gone, right? And he's like, damn, he's so upset. So after Darius flees, the whole army of the Persians start like dismantling. They know they've lost, so they start fleeing. And so Alexander's now on a quest to find Darius, to kill him, which is the most honorary thing. It's a fight between two kings. And so they're on the road, they're going through in today, what we call Afghanistan, Iraq, through the Middle East there, heading through towards Asia. Guess who they find? They find Darius, but they find Darius dead. And Alexander's like, oh my God, what's going on? This is not right. This is not good. And they found out that Darius was killed by his most loyal bodyguard, which was really sad. And Alexander was actually upset that a king has been assassinated by his own men. And then what Alexander said, he said, this is not the right way for a king to die. And so Alexander wants to take revenge and take out the assassin who took him out. And so what happened is that Alexander goes back to Babylon. Babylon is the heart of the Persian Empire. It's so beautiful. It's got gold everywhere. It's got beautiful colors. He goes in there, enters there. Everyone starts to love Alexander, because he's now liberated Babylon from the Persians. He's treated like a king there now. Alexander has now the whole Persian Empire now to himself. He got it. But he lays to rest Darius the king with honor. They treat him with honor and respect, which is very good. And now they're on the quest to find the assassin and take out the assassin. So that's what happened there. All right, guys, so Alexander the Great, he now takes over the Persian Empire. Darius is dead, and now he goes into Babylon, which is modern-day Iraq, and they worship him. He's like a god there. Alexander the Great then goes into Egypt, and he takes over there as well, but he pretty much liberates Egypt because the Egyptians didn't like Darius, the Persians, so they were welcoming Alexander's army into their kingdom, and he even becomes Pharaoh of Egypt, which is like the highest rank. He's like a king of Egypt now. Alexander then creates his own city called Alexandria. Alexandria was actually created by Alexander the Great. He made his own city in Egypt. So if you go there now, the city's called Alexandria in Egypt. That's Alexander the Great's city that he created from scratch. If you go into Egypt now, Alexandria, you'll see a big statue of him because he's pretty much the one that created that city. Alexander then wants to continue east into Asia, and then he goes into modern-day Punjab, which is Pakistan, and he fights this Indian warrior, this Indian king called Porus. And he fights him. The war is so bloody. This is one of the biggest fights of his life. So Alexander, when he took over the Persian army, he has now 70,000 soldiers, but he's fighting this Porus king, which is a big Indian army with elephants, and elephants are so strong. So they're fighting it. They're using their best tactics. It's so brutal, back and forth, taking down elephants. The elephants are destroying everything, and luckily Alexander the Great wins. They win the battle, but they pretty much like just win. It was so brutal, that battle, that Alexander said to that King Porus, he said, "I respect you so much. You fought a really good fight with us. You can take over that territory yourself." So Alexander actually respected him, Porus, that king. And he said, "You can take over there." Then said to his army, "I want to continue east and keep taking over territories." Alexander's army was so tired that they said, "No, look, Alexander, before we go to Hades, we want to make love to our wives. We want to see our children. We're tired of fighting." And because the morale was so down, they're exhausted. They conquered so much land, one of the biggest empires in the world. Alexander said, "Okay, guys, I thank you for the fight. We'll stop from here." And that's when they stopped the fight. So this meal that I'm doing right now is actually the victory meal. So it's a lamb. And actually they also liked zucchini, cucumber, onion. And so this is like their victory meal that they had after each victory, after every territory that they took over, they had a celebration. So it's very simple: salt, oregano, and olive oil and on this lamb. So this is going to be absolutely delicious. Can't wait. It's going to be delicious. All right, guys, so I think it's ready now. So we're gonna bring this inside. Oh yeah, have a look at this, check it out. Oh, that looks good. Bring this inside. We'll start carving this beautiful victory meal. Let's go. What's up, guys? All right, so we're now in the victory meal right now. So I'm gonna show you Alexander's victory meal. Check it out. So we got here the actual lamb here, roasted lamb that we did outside. We got the typical fruits, dates, nuts. We got Alexander also liked rock melons. He liked anything that's a melon, so that's rock melon. Cheeses, goat, feta, olives, zucchini. He also liked a roasted cucumber. So roasted cucumber. He liked apples as well, easy on the go. So that's it. So we're going to dig in right now, man. I can't wait. It's going to be delicious. This lamb looks so good. I want you to have a look, guys. Look at that. Look at that fat. Oh, I can't wait. That is so good. It like melts in your mouth. You have that bit of fat as well. That is so good. Just gonna do one more. Whoppa! Oh my god, I'm gonna devour that. And so he liked the rock melons as well. So anything that's a melon, Alexander liked. So nice and fresh. I've never had roasted cucumber. Never, but this is what Alexander likes, so that's what I'm doing. It tastes like a bit like cucumber, but it's obviously got that charcoal taste with a bit of salt. It's not bad, but I probably wouldn't roast it, you know what I mean? The cheese, dates. Dates are very typical in Greece, very popular in figs as well. This is absolutely delicious. So one more thing, Alexander loved apples. Easy to carry around. They lasted for quite a while as well. apples, so they're pretty good. Easy to put in your pocket and on the go on campaign. This here is a typical victory meal. After every victory, after every territory Alexander conquered, commanded and conquered, this is what they ate. And so this is very plain, simple. The question is, guys, how do I feel? Now, let me have a sip of this delicious mint tea. How do I feel for 24 hours eating Alexander's diet? I feel light. So I feel light, lean. I feel healthy, like clean inside, because everything that I ate was very lean and clean. There was no preservatives, there were no additives, and you can just feel in your stomach. You usually know when you're eating something healthy, your body reacts to it, whether it reacts to it good or bad. My body's reacting really good to it. I feel relaxed, calm, and I feel really healthy. Like I feel like I can actually do a big workout in the gym right now. And that's how I honestly feel, guys. The question is, can you really do this challenge for 24 hours? Let me know if you would try Alexander's diet for 24 hours and see how that goes. But it's actually a healthy diet. It's really healthy. I would actually recommend it. It's delicious, healthy. There's nothing bad about it. There's literally nothing bad about it, guys. That's a wrap. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it so much. Don't forget, be good to each other, love one another, and until next time, I'll see you again. See ya, bye.